Covetousness is a problem in the world. Covetousness is a problem and can be a problem in any gathering, any neighborhood, among friends, among families, in your workplace, in business. Covetousness is a problem. And it started many, many years ago. It was the devil who coveted his maker's position. And he passed that problem on to us when he introduced it to Adam and Eve. Sadly, they listened to him. And from that time forward, my brethren, we continue to have that problem in our world today. This is a reminder. This is not new to us. Brother Ken asked me what the message was on today, and I told him, you don't usually ask that. But you know what? Nathan also asked me that. What is the message today, Brother Ken? With his heavy voice, and I looked at him thinking, what body is that coming from? Right? I expected a smaller voice from that body, right? And I said, well, it's on covetousness. My brother Ken said to me, well, who is that one for today? Right? I said, me. Right? It's for all of us. It's a reminder. Jesus talked to the church about it. Turn with me to Luke 12 and verse 15. He said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness. For man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. And sometimes you look at a person, having great things in their life, having a beautiful home, a beautiful family. These are good. There's nothing wrong with having these things. Seems to be doing so well in life, and we can cover those things. You envy those things, and what happens is there becomes a strong desire to have the same. An eagerness to possess. And then we strive very hard to have as. And so we're never happy with what we got, because it never measures up to the neighbor. It never measures up to the person you're sitting next to. You feel a little out of place, a little bit uncomfortable. We're urged to be content with what we got. So Jesus is saying here, our life is not consist of the abundance of things. And he's saying, beware. Beware of covetousness. Verse 18, if I read verse 16 down, he spake a parable, that's in the same Luke chapter 12. He spake a parable, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. And he thought within himself, saying, what shall I do, because I have no room where to bestow my fruits? He said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. And I will say to my soul, soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. Have fun. You won't run out. Have fun. But God said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then who shall those things be which thou hast provided? So is he that layeth up treasure for himself and is not rich to God. So it is okay to have these things. There's absolutely nothing wrong with riches. But there must be a balance. Take this man for an example. He served himself. He said, "This is what I will do. I will break down and rebuild a bigger, store up for many years. In the meanwhile, have fun, enjoy pleasure, and no time for God. No time to reflect and thank God for the wealth He possessed. When we think that all things belongs to God, everything in this world, He has control over it. Many people do not stop for a moment to thank God. And when they do, basically make a mockery of it, of God's greatness. For us, we're reminded that if riches come today or tomorrow, it could come. We're not rich in this world, but I know one area we're very rich. In spiritual things, we're healthy, we're strong, we're very rich. We're not lacking. We're not begging in those areas. But you know what we can do? Is make it stronger. Make the riches that we got, just use it to gain more. Invest it instead of keeping it ourselves. The spiritual things that we have. As the man with the talent, the one with the 10, the 5, and the 1. Those that had much invested and gained more. And that's what we need to do with the spiritual things that we got. And you know, this is a bad example for anyone to follow. This man who had much and thought to himself, I will lay up and I will build and break down and have more. And God said to him, tonight thy soul is required of thee. The writing is on the wall. What are you going to do? Who will you leave it for? Colossians 3 and verse 5. Here Paul is speaking about covetousness. It's a real problem. In verse 5 he says, modify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry. It's like worshiping yourself. It's like worshiping images. Covetousness is as idolatry. For which things sake, verse 6, the wrath of God cometh upon the children of disobedience. Covetousness is as idolatry. Remember what the Lord said to Saul. Disobedience is as the sin of witchcraft. Covetousness is as worshiping idols.